On November 24, 2009, 26-year-old medical student John Edward Jones set out with friends and family to explore a cave in Utah. John was strong, adventurous, and a devoted family man. He and his wife had a toddler at home, and she was pregnant with their second child. For John, this was meant to be a night of fun, a chance to relive childhood traditions of caving with his brothers. But within hours, it turned into one of the most claustrophobic and heartbreaking tragedies in modern cave exploration. Nutty Putty Cave was infamous for its sticky, clay-like walls and maze of passages. It stretched for nearly 1,400 feet, but most of it consisted of tight squeezes and narrow corridors. Several visitors had already gotten stuck before, and the cave had once been closed for safety. Still, it reopened. And that night, John entered its dark, twisting corridors. As the group moved deeper underground, John noticed a narrow passage. He thought it was the birth canal, a well-known squeeze that challenged cavers but was usually passable. He was wrong. This was another tunnel, tighter, more deceptive, and he slid into it head first. The passage was just 18 inches wide, just a little wider than your shoulders, and only 10 inches high, just enough space for your face to fit, but nothing more. Imagine trying to push your entire body into that space. John wriggled forward with his arms pinned to his sides, sliding deeper, and then, suddenly, he couldn't move. He tried to inch forward, but the rock pressed against his chest. He tried to push back, but his body wouldn't budge. His arms were trapped. Every breath grew harder. Panic set in. He called for help. Can you imagine that moment? Darkness pressing in. No room to move. Just the crushing weight of the earth holding you in place. John's brother rushed forward and tried to pull his legs, but every attempt failed. The more they pulled, the tighter John wedged into the stone. Rescuers were called. Within hours, the cave was swarming with emergency crews. More than 100 people would eventually join the desperate mission. They brought ropes, pulleys, and drills, all dragged through twisting corridors into the suffocating dark. The goal was simple: move John back an inch at a time until he was free. But the reality was far worse. John wasn't just stuck, he was upside down. His body angled headfirst into a slope, gravity pulling him deeper. This made breathing difficult and caused blood to pool in his head. Every hour increased the strain on his heart and lungs. Rescuers worked tirelessly. They set up pulley systems to try to hoist him back. At times, he moved a few inches, but then, without warning, the equipment failed, or he slid into the same deadly spot. Progress was painfully slow. Meanwhile, John stayed conscious, whispering prayers and talking to rescuers around him. He spoke about his family. He told them about his daughter, about his wife waiting at home. Again and again, he said, "I want to go home." What would you say if you knew these might be your final words? For 27 hours, the rescue continued. Teams drilled into the rock, tried new systems, anything to shift him even slightly, but the cave resisted. It was as if the earth itself refused to let him go. As the hours passed, John grew weaker. Blood filled his head. His breathing slowed. His heart was under immense strain. And finally, in the early hours of November 25th, 2009, Thanksgiving morning, John Edward Jones was pronounced dead. His body remained trapped. Bringing him out would have required dismantling the cave itself, risking more lives. His family faced the unthinkable. John would never come home. In the days that followed, authorities made a final decision. Nutty Putty Cave would be sealed forever. Concrete closed the entrance, ending any further exploration. To this day, John's body remains entombed inside, resting where he drew his last breath. What was once a place of adventure became a tomb, and the story of John Edward Jones remains one of the most haunting reminders of how thin the line is between thrill and tragedy. So I'll ask you, after hearing this story, would you ever dare to crawl into a cave like this?